Thank you so much, Natalia, for the introduction. So I am the head of the Non-Academic Advisory Board for EduEvidence. I'm sure you're seeing all of our beautiful faces from all over. There was one thing that Natalia touched on that I want to re-emphasize, that she initially said that a lot of the conversations when it came to certifications were happening in the global north. But through, if you like, deep thoughts, through research, etc., it made sense that they connected with others, across, especially in the global south, to sort of have a rich system put together. And I'm sure, considering we are all education people, we do understand that education in and of itself is collaborative in nature. And we are really excited about all of the technologies that are popping up that is making it easy for us to connect, share ideas, and come up with concrete steps going forward. The EdTech scene, especially on the continent of Africa, is really thriving. And every time I do get to have this conversation, I am bubbly. I'm bubbly because we are seeing a lot of actors across in East Africa, in West Africa, all across. There's so many innovations that are popping up, and beyond the excitement that comes with building or coming up with these innovations. Of course, the conversation around certification has to come in, and I'm super excited to be a part of this board that really discusses things in depth. And I'm happy about this connection with the EdTech East Africa. I think that the group over there is doing some really amazing work that deserves some shout outs. So, in that vein, considering, like I said earlier, education is collaborative in nature, and the whole conversation around certification has come up. There was clearly the obvious absence of a standardized code of practice, right, to certify education technologies. And so EduEvidence, right, all the way in Norway, and with really, really putting in that and or exercising, the bits of collaboration, developed this fair, streamlined, and standardized approach. Having this international benchmarks of what evidence means, right? And it's proudly the only independent and international and research-based edtech certification in the world. That goes to show that anybody anywhere in the world can make a difference, right? And that's exciting. And so some key principles by EduEvidence as follows. So number one, all officially recognized international certifications are in one place. Number two, there's a two-step validation process to ensure independence. Number three, there's fair and a transparent process with fees proportional to the company size. I think that's something worthy of note, considering we're on the African continent. A lot of these startups and companies are not as mature as our other counterparts in the global north countries. That doesn't mean that they don't need certification, because certification also puts them in a better light across the globe. The criteria based on weight of evidence of each, there's criteria based on weight of evidence of each certification. All evaluation rubrics available for companies to try and follow. So these are clearly spelled out rubrics that each of the companies that are looking for certification have to align with. There's a proportionate and fair support to local innovation. Last but not the least, there's startups. Startups are judged according to their maturity, and I'm sure specifically for us, again, like I said, on the continent, this is good news for us, right? A global catalog of evidence-based. The EduEvidence has a global catalog of evidence-based edtech solutions, which is very critical for governments, schools, parents, teachers, all across the board. If we do have something that says that whatever solution that we've come up with, whether it's a startup or a somewhat mature company, even on the continent, is certified, it sends a certain comforting message to whoever is looking to explore it. So the process of certification, I'm sure that's something we are all curious about, right? So number one, the startup or the company fills out a form indicating level and vertical. Number two, EduEvidence selects a validator from the the College of Reviewers. I'm sure we'll get into that in more detail, considering our context is slightly different. And so there will be some tweaks for each of the countries, I guess, across the continent. Number three, a validator confirms no conflict of interest. So basically, if everything checks out for whatever category that you are picking, and specifically speaking about the 5 E's, once everything checks out, right, the company pays an admin fee of 250 USD. I'm sure maybe Natalia would touch more because there were some concerns, at least in certain parts of, especially on our side, West Africa, where there were some concerns regarding cost, etc. But I'm sure that can be resolved. Number five, the validator makes a recommendation for level and vertical. And then number six, EduEvidence issues the badge and certificate, right? Next slide, please. So there's a global catalog of evidence-based EdTech tools. I think one of the ones I am particularly aware of is Ekitabu. Ekitabu is from Kenya. They're doing some amazing work in the PWD space. And so in a sense, this is the way it looks, right? So there's the company, there's the product, then there are the 5E categories, right? So efficiency, effectiveness, ethics, equity, and environment. Whichever you pick, right? Once, it goes through the process, you're validated, it goes on there. Makes it easy for whoever is looking to get that verification that they need. Next slide. So there's also this UNICEF catalog of child-friendly EdTech tools. This further buttresses the point that we are increasingly wanting to see and be sure that whatever these EdTech solutions say they do, they actually do. And I'm sure you can see the evidence of impact, if you like, mark over this, right? So that means something. And EduEvidence is, in a sense, putting itself out there to let startups know that certification is a big deal. I am particularly excited about the fact that once any startup, any mid to mature company across the continent builds an EdTech tool, and they do go through the process of certification and gets that certification, they're able to get that global recognition right across the board. So I'm hoping that there'll be a time where maybe a solution from West Africa, maybe Ghana, or maybe in East Africa, Kenya or Ethiopia or wherever, can, just based off that certification, get into the European markets, the American market, and make that impact that we all want to see in education. If there are any further questions, etc., the emails available are on your screen now. You can take a screenshot. Any bugging questions, any clarifications, etc., those two emails, you can send all of those consents, and we'll get back to you. Thank you.